This episode on Sailing Popao.
Fixed the bow where someone's crashed into us on the mooring.
We don't actually know how the window goes in. This is ridiculous.
I just want to kick it out.
Giving it the pregnancy push.
G'day everyone, welcome back to another episode of Sailing Popao.
This episode we have a bunch of odd jobs that we've done around Popao. Some of them are a little bit out of sequence. They were shot during and before we did the roof, so don't get your knickers in a knot. I know they're out of sequence, but it's just the way that the editing cookie crumbles sometimes.
And boat work.
And boat work.
You pick up bits and pieces and you got to wait for stuff to dry and etc. etc. So we've just put it all in sequence so it's easy to follow. Thanks for watching and enjoy the episode.
Let's get into it.
Yep. We are just going to replace the Lifelines. We've ordered this 6mm Dyneema. Because it's coated cable, you don't know what's going on underneath it. So yeah, we just thought we'd replace it with this nice soft 6mm Dyneema. It's a bit thicker, something to grab onto, and it's never going to rust. You don't get those little stainless pricks all the time.
Ouch.
Learn how to splice Dyneema, make an eye, and then I'll just use a turnbuckle so we can tighten it if there's any slackening.
Slackening? Stretch.
There it is, finished splice. But I did one boo-boo. I didn't splice it to the bloody eye that I was supposed to. So
You meant to put it through the turnbuckle?
I'm supposed to put it through the little turnbuckle eye. So anyway,
We'll just do it backwards.
I'll have to do it backwards. A bit harder. But yeah, think twice before you splice.
Oh gosh, how long were you working on that one?
Came to me. Yeah, so we are on our last splice for the Lifelines. We've replaced them with Dyneema. We got rid of that old coated cable. And I have to say, my splices are looking pretty good. So I've just done the Brummel lock there. And now I'm just going to feed it down into there. I've tapered the end so it'll be nice and smooth like this one. And that's it. Donezo.
Start it up.
What are you doing down there, Michael?
So I bought a winch remote, remote winch remote from eBay. It's like $30 or $20 or something, and
For the anchor winch.
for the anchor winch, because we used to have a remote switch and just wanted to put it in, but it looked like crap, and you'd still have to run forward and flick it. But now we've got two remotes.
Jeez, it looks like you bought it off eBay.
It looks quality.
Look how foxy.
X-Bull.
It looks so crap.
Anyway, so to go with the crap remote, I've done even crapper wiring for now.
What is that?
It's okay, it'll last. I'm just going to check that it works. Everything's on. If you smell smoke, run back.
Marcus' new Lifelines. Woohoo! New hatch. Woohoo!
Tramps.
New tramps. Yes, I don't even know what we've filmed. We've done a lot of work which we haven't filmed.
Okay, so that's all good. That should be there. Stand back just in case. Let's try out.
Don't go too far. The bridle's there. Oh, ho, ho. Very nice. Magic.
So handy.
Who needs those? For rookies. Then you have a remote.
That's so good.
I had a few moments where it blew up when Michael wasn't on the boat, and that made me really nervous, because if I had to pull the anchor up in 30 or 40 knots of wind by myself, it would have been, pretty difficult. The other thing is if we have another incident like Peel Island and it keeps tripping.
Yeah, well,
you can just someone can drive and have the remote and you just keep pulling it.
X-Bull. Highly recommended. Not sponsored.
How much was it?
$20 or
$20.
maybe less than $20, $30.
Sir, that casket costs $1,000.
Okay, $70.
What?
$2,000.
That's twice what it costs.
$40.
What?
He doesn't know how to haggle.
Yeah, two remotes and a little Bluetooth.
Oh, two
receiver.
remotes?
Yep.
Ooh, one each so we can
So we
fight
can
each other.
fight each other even more. on the
No,
internet.
not here. Yeah. So happy, Michael?
Happy. So we've done all the dodgy testing now to make it legitimately safe
And nice and pretty.
and labelled.
Alright, so using these tools, we've just jimmied around the frame.
Yeah, and we used some fishing braid to get it under there, to initially get under there.
Yep.
And this little blade, so
That worked pretty well. So this is what we were worried about, is a little bit of rot just before we paint it inside properly.
fine.
Looks pretty good. They've just siliconed that on, so that's pretty easy fix by the looks of it. We can just clean that up. So I've just spent a good part of the morning cleaning these hatches up, and they're still pretty dirty. You can see why people use butyl tape. I think it's a lot easier to clean up. So Michael's just drilled the holes out up the front, and we're going to epoxy that all. Is that the step? What's the plan? You've just drilled the holes out.
I've just drilled the holes out a bit. I've countersunk them so the butyl can sit in the countersunk holes a bit better. And I'm just going to epoxy them and then re-drill the holes so it's completely...
Did you want to sand the bottom back as well? Do you think maybe we should epoxy the underside of that wood?
Yeah. And fix the bow where someone's crashed into us on the mooring.
What happened,
So
Mr. Investigator?
we had a lovely day
Detective
out on the
Takash.
boat, and I didn't actually notice it until we went to put the mooring line back on, but the bow has been damaged. Took a rough measurement off the waterline, and I thought, oh, maybe it was his rub rail that pushed against us in the
Big blow we had.
big blow that we had. I went over just to check the rub rail, and I looked on the bow and I saw this dirty big gouge on there.
It's so obvious.
So we got Jess to get the tape measure out, and we measured like precisely 1100 mil off the waterline, and then sure enough it lined up with his bow.
Detective Takash over here.
I don't know.
It doesn't really
I don't
matter.
know how much benefit of the doubt you can give, but it's
We'll let you
definitely
decide.
looks like he's hit it and just tried to get away with it. But we'll see. We haven't seen the guy yet, but I'm going to epoxy that too because it did expose a tiny bit of timber at the front, which is not good on a ply boat. So. I've just drilled these holes out a tiny bit wider, and I've just countersunk the tops so you can put a cone of butyl tape around the bolts, and that'll just seal nice and flush in there. So I'm going to acetone them, clean it up, and then I'll fill it with hardened epoxy and tidy them up. And then while I've got a bit of fresh epoxy, I'll fix the bow, which is right here. Well, it's not a major, but it's not ideal. But anyway, it's good to see that the old easy bow's stronger than a Bertram's hull, because he's got a nasty gouge on it. Yeah, so I've just sanded this bow back a bit smooth, and I'm just going to seal it with epoxy, and then we'll do a bit of bogging, and then it'll be sealed, and then we can paint it at our leisure. A tiny layer of glass missing down to bare wood, hasn't dented the wood really. Testament to Derek Rothwell. He built some pretty strong bows here.
Yeah, the other boat didn't come off very well, did it?
No. Okay, so I have filled all these holes up with an epoxy bog. Drilled them out a little bit wider, and now they're all filled. I'm just going to knock them flat again and then re-drill through them, and that way the water, if it does ever leak, never gets to the timber. So I've sealed all this, sealed the underside. I've also done the bow. It looks real messy now. I learnt that you have to really over epoxy it so you can knock it down, because if you make it flush at the start, you'll end up having cavities and you'll want to fill it again. So blackfish on the morning, very nice. Okay, so I've done 2 layers of butyl tape around the hatch here, but hopefully it'll squish out and make a nice seal. I've also wrapped a little bit around the head of these
That's a
countersunk screws that'll go in there as well. So
a lot of people use this stuff instead of silicone because just the cleanup is so much easier. Like that took so long to get all the I reckon a good part of the day yesterday I spent sitting in the sun scraping that silicone off. So yeah, and like my fingernails are just gone because, as always, fingernails are the best tool.
oh well, we did a preliminary tighten, just doing opposites, and most of the butyl's come out, which is good. It's definitely compressing because all the air that was trapped under there is popping its way out. Hopefully a lot tidier. And to clean it up, you just get the old butyl and do the old blue tack trick. Okay, so I faired this out. Took 2 goes of epoxy, but I think it looks pretty good. So I'm just going to acetone it and then paint it.
So today's mission is to replace the seal on the lens of the Nemo port hatches that we've got up the front. I think that with the colder weather down south here, the contractions made that seal just break and shrink. It's actually really bad. So I'm hoping that we're going to be able to just pop that out, tape it up, reseal it, and it'll be good as new. That was easy. This is such a pain to get off. I don't know if someone's got a trick, but just got a little blade, trying not to scratch the frame too much. But yeah, just one of those slow process jobs. So working on one of the harder windows today. It's actually been leaking really badly. Oh, we have another chainsaw in the background today. They're forever cutting trees down around here. So it's pretty awkward, this one, because we don't actually know how the window goes in. We think it's just sealed and it just sits there in the hole.
I think that's just the flare or a flange on the outside and it just pushes into it.
Right, so once you get the glue off, you can just maybe like...
You've got to push it out that way, but it's...
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's stuck pretty good. I think on the outside might be easier to... Right, that's the sealing surface on the outside. So we've had a few leaks since we bought the boat actually in this window, and it's always been on the to-do list, but it's always been easier just to put a bucket there. And anyway, so we just got to take it off. It appears that this is just a flange on the outside here, and then it's got a recess, and you glue on the inside and just push it straight on. That's my thinking anyway. So the issue is all behind here would all be sealed, so that's the sealing surface. So we just got to cut all that silicone away, which obviously on a boat everything is in a hard tricky spot. So I've just got this razor blade and I hold it flat and we just make enough of a groove to get in there. And a little trick for getting window and breaking the devil's bond of marine sealant, I like to use this fishing braid. So you get it just enough so you can get it under a corner, and you can kind of use it like a little like a little seesaw action with the braid, and you can actually cut your way around it. So here we go. If you can get the two opposing corners, you can really get some good leverage on there. Start making good progress. So you just got to open up the gap enough that you can get the line under and then go from there.
We must have tried just about every tool on board Popao. Trying to get it under this tiny little lip was near impossible.
last time I left you was about 8 in the morning. What time is it now?
I don't know, I've been come back and helped you scrape and
It's probably like 2 in the arvo now at least.
running out of time.
Still haven't got there.
And we've just managed to get this through. So Michael's got the other end. We're gonna just try and saw this. I have a good feeling about this one. We've just got this right around almost. We've got this section that we haven't gotten freed yet. So close. Still not budging. No matter how hard we push the thing. This is it.
Why don't we bend it?
This is ridiculous.
Oh,
Ah.
8 in the morning we've been working on this.
Ah, I just want to kick it out. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh. Oh. Ah. What a friggin' pain in the ass. Did we damage it? After all that.
What a freaking mission. It's amazing, hey, that tiny little bit there.
Oh, that stuff's so strong.
And then it leaks, like how?
It looks so much bigger without the frame on it.
Massive. Just stick a bit of Perspex on there.
Do you want a beer?
No, I'll have the rest of my Pepsi though, if you got it.
Popoa's bar is open. I took this home earlier and spray painted it. I taped it up, got it all ready and sprayed the outside frame because we scratched it a fair bit when we were trying to get it off the actual boat, and we chipped the boat up and all that. So Michael's actually epoxied this whole frame again, and I sanded this back this morning. We're gonna just paint that while we're there because it looks pretty epoxy. Paint that whole section, just give the tread a bit of a touch up as well tomorrow. And this little repair we did a while ago, he painted all of this. That's all nice and white. Painted the frame, painted the white bit of this step, just touched it all up really. They're high use areas so they just wear out. And painted all that, and now just about to put the frame in, which is going to be a mess, no doubt. Always is, working with this shit. Sikaflex, favourite product in the world, Michael?
Devil's Bond.
Be nice to not have to run down the back of the boat and put a tray under the window every time it rains.
Yeah, I've only been doing that for what, 2 years?
2 years. Alright, he's on to his second tube of Sikaflex. He's off to a raging start here.
I hate working with this stuff so much.
The first one he actually tried to use like an old tube and it was all like dried up in the middle. So we, instead of wasting all this work and having the old Sikaflex, we just cracked a new tube. I think that's the way to go for these jobs anyway. It's not worth it. You go all the way around. This is the friggin' real messy part. Ooh. Do you want me to line one end up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this end, the starlet side's lined up.
This side's lined up.
Down a bit. And now Michael's just giving it the pregnancy push to see he's just trying to make sure that sticker comes out right around, which it should. We've put so much in And then the inside, like there's some gaps, so we'll just have to fill that manually. But yeah, I can see that we probably should have taped the inside in.
Well, you can tape
as
that now.
well. We can tape it now, yeah, but it's just going to be a little bit trickier. Looks good? Oh yeah, nice. So this is how we should have taped the inside too, so we can just run that bead right around. Should we jam something between the window and the tiller, or are you happy with that?
Yeah.
I'm going to tape this window up and just fill these little gaps with sticker and make it look pretty from the inside.
Oh well, she's in. It's like a new one. Jesse's still going on tidy up in there.
I'm nearly done. Frame's clean. And now just fill the wall. Just come off pretty nicely. I'm just going to run my finger around just one last time to make sure the seal is nice and flush against the paint.
Question is it going to leak?
Yeah, better not. I'm just going to gloss over this whole window. Call it a day.
And then this little edge here too. Get rid of that. Oh, brand new.
Big reveal. Did it leak, Michael?
Completely dry.
Oh, yes.
Only took 2 years.
I know, you're right.
Looks good too.
Looks good.
Tidy.
Nice.
For all the marks we made, but wow.
Yeah, you don't notice, and that whole room needs to be painted. You start looking at it and you go, gosh, that's a terrible paint job, like in the corner here.
Well, that is different
It's
colour, isn't
mismatched.
it?
Yeah, I told you. You
didn't
never
even
even
notice.
noticed.
That's the bathroom colour.
Yeah.
Next episode on Sailing Popao. With lockdown over, we wrap up and finish all the boat projects and get ready to set sail.
Show you how we're going to transfer all our settings and waypoints. I'm going to run 2 thicker cables to here, have them fused. So that's all the wire that I've managed to eliminate now. No such thing as too easy on a boat.
G'day everyone.
G'day guys, thank you so much for all your support. We've been overwhelmed with the amount of orders we've got on the merch.
Yeah, if you haven't already got some, head on over to sailingpopao.com to check it out.
Also, just wanted to say another huge thank you to all our patrons out there. Your support is amazing.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you, and see you on the next one.
See you next episode.
A huge thanks to our current patrons and welcome on board Adrian, Rife, John and Lassie.